This latest reporting on the lunch that President Obama gave his blessing to Joe Biden to run. Now, the president, I don't think it's surprising he would give his blessing to say, Joe, if you want to run. But what we're seeing today with the leak of this meeting, with the leak of the blessing, with Josh Earnest on the White House podium saying what a great guy the president has always thought Joe Biden is, this is more than a blessing, I think.
Well, look, the vice president is a great guy, and clearly there is a lot of affection and a lot of love between the president and the vice president. But, and of course, the president was going to give him all the room he needs to make his decision.
But there are ways to say that we had lunch, and then there are ways to say we had lunch, and this seems to go beyond that.
Right. So the next step is, will he decide to actually run? And if he decides to actually run, then the president and the White House are in a bit of a pickle, Do they endorse? And if they endorse, who do they endorse? And if there's going to be an endorsement, what's the timing of that endorsement? Is it happen early on where they can actually make a difference, help him raise money, help her raise money, or do they let it play out a little bit? So, it'll be interesting to see.
The president will be in a pickle, so will Hillary Clinton, which we'll talk about in just a second. Before we bring her up specifically, Carl, you've been reporting, you've been hearing people close to Joe Biden saying that if he decides to run, he could say, look, I only want to do this for one term. I want to be a one-term president because of his age. Do you think it's an advantage to make that statement going into a campaign? We've heard of that in the past, candidates speculating they might do that. They never seem to actually go ahead with it.
I think he has until, if he were to win the nomination, to do it. There's probably no necessity to do it now. The time to really do it would be if he had the nomination and were in the mind of voters who were a little uneasy about his age. He could do it then. But I know he's thinking about it because those are the people I talked to a couple weeks ago when I first reported it. But the real factor that's driving so much of this is the distrust within the party now about the viability of Hillary Clinton's campaign. That she is on very shaky ground within her own party by people who are disappointed in the Democratic Party with how she's run this campaign, with her difficulty with being straightforward and truthful about the matters of the server. And that's what's brought on so much of this, along with Donald Trump.
So, John, if you are Hillary Clinton and the Clinton campaign watching this, I mean, you've known that Joe Biden was thinking about it for a while, but over the last 4 days, this has just gone to a whole new level.
It certainly has. It's gone to a whole new level at a very key moment. Number one, in an odd way, this could, in the long run, if Joe Biden doesn't run or if he runs and can't beat Hillary Clinton, in an odd way help her in the sense that what were we talking about for 2 weeks up until Joe Biden started to dominate the conversation? That was the rise of Bernie Sanders, who had come within striking distance of Hillary Clinton in a couple of the key early states. Now he's sort of on pause while we talk about will Joe Biden get in. But Hillary Clinton, Carl laid it out right. There are serious vulnerabilities, and there's just a conversation about potential vulnerabilities. Remember, and Carl and Patty have both been through this. Some of this isn't probably not fair to Hillary Clinton, but when you have an investigation and you have the Justice Department involved and you have the same lawyers coming out of the woodwork that a lot of senior Democrats saw back in the Bill Clinton days, they get nervous because, trust me, I covered the Clintons in those days and the White House in those days, and the investigations never turn out as you expected. There's always been some kind of a surprise. Now, is that fair to Hillary Clinton? Probably not. But it's a fact and it's a history. And if you're an older senior Democrat, when the lawyers get involved, when you see the David Kendall profile on the front page of the New York Times, you get a little nervous, John. So what does she have to do now? She has to keep